Everybody. Today we are continuing Voronezh 2, the Stalingrad to Berlin campaign. We are still in the 5th turn. Things are still underway. We have to move some of the units and set up the air before we are going to turn the turn. Well, first of all, I want to set up air support for the Stalingrad forces, which is currently lacking as we pulled out the Stukas and some of the fighters from the forward bases. So I'm seeking to find a solution to that problem. We would need to reposition into places that we assume that will not get overrun. Otherwise we will lose some of our fighters or some of our planes. And that's actually a tough call. This airport here is overloaded with Stukas. I think we have also problems here. Some recon planes over here. I think we can reposition them to get some more space for the airstrips. So let's see. There are now so many Stukas here, but they are not contributing to anything. I need to check that are the Stukas. They are single engine aircraft, so they count as tactical bomber. This particular version. Okay. I think what we want to do, we want to spread them out so that we have some here in the Caucasus. I think that could be also immediate transfer. One of the air groups went there. Then we want to take this guy. And I'm going to take a little bit of a risk here. The problem is that these forward air bases, they are just... They are way too crowded. Will this unit hold? I kind of believe that the Soviets won't try to attack this position over here, so let's try to bring the air, although the problem is that there is no supplies. There is a better situation here at the Cheer station, so they can contribute to the fighting at least. There is no supplies here, so that's a problem. How about this forward? Pasargino. No fuel. Unless we do a planned. Do we think that we can hold there? 10, 7, 10. They are gonna attack with, they can attack with 30 to this particular tile if they want to. I think we want to do a planned air transfer. Okay, so now we have Stuks in the front line. And let's try to So we have this one tank division, which I would love to bring up here. But none of these units can move anywhere, so that's the problem. But it's on in the reserves right now, so probably it could contribute to the battle. I'm also concerned about the... Okay, this is unready unit. That's not really that good. This is a big risk. Okay, we could share the load a little bit more evenly. Let me just take the air off for a second, also the depots off. I want to see what belongs to this Li Corps. Is it 51st, or what is the Roman letter for L? The number for L. So they command these units over here, and also these very important units on this tile. That's maybe something that I don't want to hear. Karl Strecker. I want someone who has a high morale. Hube is good. Where are you? The 6th Army itself is now command. Okay, here is the 8th Corps. That could have one more unit under its command. Yeah, I think the 8th Corps should be taking more of these divisions. And if this guy is really trying to command the tank... Yeah, it's trying to command the tank unit. No way. No. That's not a good idea. Airline should be commanding this Panzer division. So that's now properly assigned. Let's check. What does this have? They have Panzerjägers, Werfers. I could also assign them a pioneer. So these all are trying to... They belong to this Li Corps, except this one, belonging to Hube's Panzer Corps. So optimally, of course, we would like everybody to be under a single command, but I don't think that's realistic at this point when we are so scattered. But this 11th Corps could definitely take one of these divisions. I would say that they could take this one. 11th Corps, yeah. And this is now only one over the limit. I guess the guys on Seydlitz has infantry commandership of 7. Morale is 6. This is similar. Karstrecker quite equally performing guy. So now we can also get back to the air situation. So these Stukas are not really, or U-87D3s. I don't think they are. Are they that particular model? I'm not exactly sure. They couldn't be able to fit in here. They could fit here though. And also here actually. But we have quite many there already. So maybe I'm just thinking we could try to reassign this to Army Group Center. They could be brought here to Rezhev or Demyansk. Because currently I don't see us having really that good of an air support here in the... They could go planned transfer to Rezhev. And then I'm thinking they are the first. Can I reassign them? Their AOG. What is this? Is this Luftflotte 1 district? No, it's Luftflotte 6. Okay, let's go to the airbase. And they can go under Luftflotte 6. Yeah. How about here in the Caucasus? I think we have too many fighters over here. We can spread them around a little bit. So these belong to the 4th Flieger Corps. No, 4th. Yeah, 4th Flieger Corps. Which I assume is under Luftflotte Pier. But anyways, yeah, this is the 8th Flieger Corps. And here's the 4th. The 4th one is also very spread out. I don't know, I guess they could be as they are. More fighters here in the front wouldn't be a bad idea. I think these recon planes are taking up space here, space that we really need, so the recon can move out. We have transport group, very small one. And then we have these tactical bombers. Let's move these fighters actually somewhere where they could contribute. I think they could go to reserve. I don't see the enemy taking it. Other option would be Kaluga even. These forward position, but that's relatively weak, so maybe not there yet. So to reserve, I would say. And that could be immediate. Yeah. Why are there some fighters in Yesau? I think they could be here providing, or even to the Demyansk. I don't think the enemy can sneak through and take the airfield. I don't see that happening. And then I would like to check, is it the air doctrine, directive doctrine? So the minimum weather in which I want them to operate. Luftflotte fear 4, I would like it to be all weather. Because now we are talking about the crucial situation here in Stalingrad, and it might be a blizzard coming up in our way, but we still have to keep the planes up in the air. Otherwise we can't hold these positions. Especially this one is really, it is bothering me. I'm thinking about assigning pioneer groups here if they would help. How about we could even assign a heavy Stug battery. But if our commander is capable, it should be able to contribute in all of these battles that are going to take place here. So it's kind of a mixed sword to assign them to a single unit. Let's take the air off and check the status of the 6th Army. There isn't really that much that we can do. We can assign some construction battalions. I think I'm going to assign one from Don and one from OKH. Or maybe even a third one from OKH. But they are not really in a good shape. I might have taken a quite bad ones. These are road construction battalions, so Maybe not then. Okay. Well, this is the situation. We can still check. I think we did all of our air supplies already, but yeah, we did in the Stalingrad. How about Demyansk? Yeah. We can also check are all of our units within command range. I hope so. There is the 2nd Panzer Army is actually one out of command, and the 5th Panzer Division. Those are the ones that I really need to pay attention to. So it's the 2nd Panzer Army as a whole. Well, it needs to sit in Orel. That's something that we can't really change. The Army Group Don also needs to sit. Maybe we can just change this order. And they can go here. Yeah. That solves that issue. Then we have that single Panzer division that is simply out of its command. So we have this Panzer Corps sitting there. The whole 9th Army, I think, well, they need to be on top of some depot. They could be on top of Rezhev. Or is there an alternative solution to this? Way over command limit this corps. These guys could even refit if they want to. Yeah, let's do something like this. This guy is in reserve. Although we could bring it a little bit closer. I don't think that is that bad of an idea. Just to move it a little bit. One tile. I've been also looking at this situation over here. Losing this city would be really unfortunate. So that's why I'm going to actually, if we look at these divisions that are under command, they can try to attack this particular unit over here. Who's our commander? Can we secure that he's not really that capable? We have 62 points. How about here? Ferdinand is better with mech. Yeah, I don't think I'm comfortable having this kind of a commander here. These are mostly infantry units. So it doesn't have to be something amazing. Would be more average commander, I think. Even though these are cheaper because their political score is very high. Meaning that they are also very difficult to resign. Very high morale. Well, okay, I guess I could take this grazing Hans. He seems to be up for the job. Are we over command limit with these other cores? Well, this is above command limit. I think we could assign some of these units even. This is 15. We could do something like this. And this could go to the XX core. Yeah. Now it's a bit better. And then he is over the limit. But I don't think there's anything we can do about that. This is not the best position for this core, but it doesn't really have a lot of stuff in it, so I guess it's okay. Yeah. We can check the events. Soviet partisans. We can see these red stars, they indicate partisan activity in these hexes, so moving through them can cause movement point losses for the troops. We can check also our reserves. What do we have? What is our table of equipment? Luftwaffe field. Core. 5,000, so that would be a command unit. I think we might want this. Because we really need more cores. Panzer regiments. Heavy Panzer regiment. Or Panzer battalion, this one. So I guess these are consisting of tigers. Yeah. 20 tigers. They could throw a big punch if we need them. In the winter it's not really optimal. I would like to keep them fresh for the spring and for the summer. But I don't know. I'm kind of tempted to bring these to the Stalingrad front, just to assign them to the headquarters so they can contribute to multiple battles. This might be a really bad idea to take them in. I think I'm going to leave them out for a while, but if you think that I should bring them in, you can suggest that in the comments or during the stream. And then I'm still giving the last look for this defensive line. Now we have made sure that this position over here has a lot of strength. I don't expect enemy breakthrough to come from there. It kind of bothers me that they are a little bit unevenly. Like for instance, I don't think this unit should be belonging to the Panzer Corps. I think that could be belonging to this unit. So I think we can actually do a little bit cleanup before the turn turns. So Whoa, that went... Yeah, this is the Panzer army. No, no, no. We want it to be assigned to that. And still we could put one regiment in. These are all now Panzer Corps, except this is Panzer Army. I think we could do it like this. Now this Panzer Corps could have more stuff. I think it could take this one. And I would like to get this one unit, this Romanian mountain division, to refit. But in order to do that, it would need to be on top of the depot. I think we need to send it back here. Yeah. Okay. I don't think there is anything we can do except this. Luftflotte 6 is too out of range from the OKL. And we have one division that I didn't even notice. Okay, this means that we should check. Check again the incoming troops. According to this, yeah, we got Panzerjäger Battalion. So it's in the 6th Army, that's the best place for it. Whereas this is in Army Group B. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think we need it in the 6th Army. 6th Army should get all. How about these Tugs? They are in the 6th Army. Okay, that's good. You know what, I'm going to take this Luftwaffe Field Corps. I think we should take it. Oh, but it has red, so it can't. We can't put it in. Yeah. It just appeared, it's red. If it's gray, I think that means that we can pull it out from the reserves. So, yeah, but now we can actually send this division somewhere. We can send it either to the south or north. I think south is still the best option. Quite heavy railway usage in the south though. We can bring it to Kiev. It can wait there. Or move one out. Yeah. That's it. I think we are ready. I think we should do it now. Final checks. There's 3 infantry divisions that are okay. That one. Yeah, we know about that one. Okay. The whole mountain corps is out of reach from this 17th Army. Well, that's too bad. That's how it's gonna be. Then the final thing that we should be focusing on is the railway repair. We can keep this unit either in Vitebsk, or we can actually search where is the northern railway unit. Let's go here, and unit name filter FPD. So we have these three only. So this is the one over here. I think we have to keep it there. Then I have this fourth one. And then this is the fifth one. Okay, we have only 3 rail repair units. Because I'd like to get this rail repaired. And I think I need to do it better sooner than later. So let's send this unit here. And okay. Let's turn the turn. I'm gonna keep this level of zoom so we can actually see what is happening. And let's go. This is going to be interesting. I'm just curious, will the Soviets try to re-establish connection to the Kalinin pocket, or will they try to reform their line? We have also options for second encirclement on top of the pre-existing pocket. But let's just see. What will the Soviets do? There was, by the way, a new patch for the game. Sadly, it breaks all existing campaigns. So if you install that, you need to start a new campaign. And they say that that's going to be the last, or they are hoping it to be the last major update before they put the game on Steam. And based on what I checked on the forums, they said that the new patch. Okay, there's some fights here on the north. Nothing serious. So it's going to help with the flak losses, or better estimation of using anti-air against. Okay, we hold in Stalingrad. This is really important. But we are thrown away. Aye. And we are thrown away there too. So the weakest point that I expected was the weakest didn't hold. But we are at least holding until now. We are retreated Do we hold around this? Yeah, we do. We hold. We hold the enemy's advance before they are able to get close to us. Over here, we hold 2 until now. And they basically destroy that complete Panzer division. It doesn't have any tanks left anymore. Do we hold the airfield? Yes. But now it's a desperate fight. And we lose the second encirclement too. Oh no. We took massive risks by making those 2 encirclements, and we couldn't hold those positions. I kind of expected there to be some kind of issues, but yeah, I hope after the supply phase our troops are going to be a little bit in a better shape than what they are after that combat, because they are completely worn out right now. Yeah, in the Caucasus nothing serious. Enemy keeps attacking, they lose more. They lose more than us, even though we are outnumbered severely, because they attack strong defensive positions. Yeah. How about here? We hold. This is crucial battle. We hold there too, but no air support. No air support. I have to check. Did we manage to have air support in those main battles around Stalingrad? Did those Tukas that we set up actually contribute? Because if they didn't, this was all for nothing. Here we have no air support. Neither does the enemy. Okay, the enemy is actually approaching to our railway. Oh, yeah, and we are pushed back. They're out. I am actually kind of scared right now. Now the Italians are being attacked. Those weak positions. Okay, one of the Italians fall back. But the place where we assigned our own units, they hold. And we hold. We have... That's the German division, but we... Yeah, the German division holds. How about the Romanians? I mean Hungarians here in the middle of the sector around Voronezh. Okay. The Hungarians are holding easily, even though taking bigger losses. How about the Italians? Italian Alpini units used to fight in the mountains and in the snow. They hold. Except here. So there is 2 breaches. Now they are able to widen it. I was just about to think that the enemy seems to be kind of slacking. Oh, we lose the city, Voronezh. That was unexpected. So basically this could mean that we would have to pull back the units from the center now that the encirclement of the Soviets in the Kalinin has been finalized. We are not going to commit any offensive troops to any offensive actions, but we are going to be pulling them here. This was a big attack. Enemies took quite big losses. But our troops, I hope that they really bounce back from those attacks. Because the combat values here seem to be super low. And we are pushed back from there too. Okay. I think the main lesson here for us is that the enemy has a lot of strength and they are quite capable of hiding it. They have pulled out a lot of their forces in the center and they are now doing serious moves in the south. Although they attack also in the center with very big forces. We just need to hold the city Kaluga. Okay, the enemy attacks there, but we didn't manage to assign any support equipment there. How about here? Enemy no tank losses. That is of course a bit disappointing. Here they don't reduce our fort. Why is not able to get any support equipment to that fight? We lose one tank. Enemy loses 1000 men against 50 of ours. The thing is that Soviets can afford to take these kind of losses. And our infantry division, well, it's only a regiment, is routed. Here is a big battle, but it's an even fight and we have a strong defensive position, so the enemy tries another attack north of that position and they try again to the same position, but no. They managed to break through or retreat our units north. Okay, from that heavy wood style. I think this was kind of a reality check for us. That what the real situation in the front actually is. Like, in those previous turns we have faced minimal attacks from the enemy. And now they didn't manage to do a complete destruction of our front line, but they did some serious damage in multiple places, which we now have to patch up somehow. They are air supplying, probably because of railway line problems. And they are air supplying their troops next to Stalingrad. The good thing is, the only good news from those Stalingrad encirclements is that the elite Soviet Guard Rifle Corps got encircled and that encirclement held. The rest, those mechanized and tank corps encirclements, sadly did not hold. So that of course was a big disappointment. We can still attack those units because they probably didn't receive freight and supplies, so they should be relatively weak. We can try to push them away. We anyways need to push them away if we want to withdraw, and we need to withdraw. We lost one airfield. I hope it wasn't an airfield where we just transferred some of our Stugas. I think it wasn't, because they didn't have any supplies there. It was the college airport. And we can see now logistics phase. Our trucks in repair went up significantly, 4,000 or so trucks. We have 6 depleted units. Tank loss is 120. And or after what we can replace, 120. Soviet losses minus 500. And we lose units on the map. Soviets actually gain strength. So that is scary, that after those kinds of losses that they take on those attacks, they still have more strength coming turn after turn. So we have 2 pioneers and Panzerjägers arriving to the reserves. And our victory point situation 620. I think the loss of Voronezh was 10 points. And that was a surprise loss. We can inspect these battles. Let's inspect first what happened around Stalingrad. There is no chance of re-attacking. These positions. Rifle division, cavalry corps. So okay, I'm just trying to think, how the hell do we get out from here alive? We destroy this tank corps. We destroy this mechanized corps. These 3 units, they have to move one by one. We pull out these, pull them back. Maybe establish this rail line, try to just minimize our losses. This development on the flanks is kind of scary. Here on the right flank, they are approaching seemingly out of nowhere. In the Caucasus, the enemy now, they managed to push us back in the previous turn from this position, so now they have filled it and they probably want to start sneaking. Sneaking here. Then there is this rifle corps in the middle of nowhere. Supplying this unit is probably quite difficult for the enemy, but they still seem to be doing that. Okay, let's turn on the combats. Did we get any air support in any of these battles? We did not. Did I mess up something? That ground support. Yeah, I did mess up something. That we haven't set up a ground support battle plan for Army Group Don. Yeah. That explains it. why we didn't have any of our air helping us here, which could have made a ton of difference. The enemy was able to use their air completely free. That is a massive mistake by me. I didn't notice that we are lacking the plan for ground support for Army Group Don, and because these all basically belong to Army Group Don, we didn't have anybody up in the air. And the air doctrine wise, Luftwaffe fear is minimum weather, all weather. Yeah, so that's what we set up correctly. Anything else was then incorrect. That didn't help. Here we held in the center. All of the battles were victorious. Yeah. Except one route here. We were only holding that position with a single regiment, but that got attacked by a rifle corps. So these Soviet units remained encircled. They are encircled. Now the task is just to destroy them. In the north, we actually had some air support. I guess the weather cleared. Weather in the air. Snowfall, no blizzards, no nothing. Weather on the ground, it's snow, heavy snow in the middle. Christmas Eve, 1942. Let's set up that air command that we should have had. Luftflotte fear, ground support, Army Group Don. That's it. All weather. Okay. We can check the losses now. I guess these losses are calculated from the start of this scenario. So we can already see that our losses are actually very, very significant and very, very large. 1.3 million Axis losses. 1.8 Soviet losses. Guns 4,000, Soviets 11,000. AFVs, tanks almost 700. Soviet lost 4,800. Okay. Yeah, 91,000 we have captured. They captured 16,000 of Axis Soviet units. Are there any events? Okay. We can patch up this front. We start to get fortifications here, but it's just such a long journey. And one of our panzer divisions was completely thrown away. And it still belonged to this guy. Something that I wanted to avoid, that he would be commanding any tank units, because he's not a good tank commander. Yeah, some mistakes were made now in this turn. No air support in the Stalingrad area. Air support could have helped us a lot. Not sure would that have been enough, but it would have helped. I think that's the airface is now solved, so we only had to do that one thing. We can also check in the center of the line. Enemy has just those concentrations forces. But here they are actually trying to sneak through a little bit. I think we might want to push them back here. This airborne brigade could also be destroyed if we want to. But now they leave this corridor open for us. I'm just gonna move this unit to Ostashkov and Panzer unit over here, and we got ourselves a second encirclement. The rail unit is going to repair this line over here. We have to also take some defensive positions around here, around this line. We could also think about minimizing the front size. If we want to consider, one option is of course utilize these lakes. This lake, this lake, this lake. So that we have only one unit here, just in front of the rail yard. One unit here. These units blocking here. So we could maybe minimize the number of troops that we need on that flank. But okay. I think we can execute the air directives. Because we only added that missing air support. But yeah, the way I see it, it got a bit more chaotic. Situation what I expected. Army Group B and A. I'm just wondering, is it some specific? What if we have specified which sections are going to contribute, which AOGs? That might be messing things up. So maybe we would have needed to actually revise those orders. But okay, let's try to make sense of this. Where is our closest air? Okay, we need some freight over here. Just a little bit. Let's try to blast this. Blast this mechanized core out from here. Thinking which forces should be committed. I think I could use some of these mechanized. Well, maybe this is easier. These are just... Okay, the cavalry unit. Now it's fully encircled. All we need is a victory. Doesn't really matter. We can take these reserves out. Yeah, that's a good victory. Only 2 tanks lost. And we had air support. We can blast away this enemy unit in here. I'm going to use these 2. They should be enough. They are enough. Just to push it away. Then what we need this mechanized, we need this tank core gone. Optimally, we would like these guys to be moving. I think I wouldn't like these guys to attack at all. That's my main concern. Okay, the tanks can't even go far anymore. This is going to be really difficult. Well, let's see if we can blast this guy first. Cavalry division joins, they are routed. Good. Thank you. And there is an enemy unit over here. That is kind of scary. I think we have to use this. But the Jäger division shouldn't be used. They withdraw. They lose most of their tanks. That's good. They lose a third of their tanks. Okay. These guys have gathered quite a lot of strength. I think it's time for them to go and take these defensive positions. We blast away that rifle division. So now the path is clear. These guys can no longer retreat. They can be considered to be kind of dead meat. So if I'm serving the enemy strength, they are seeking some kind of a... They are seeking some bad moves here for us. To cut this railway. If this is lost, then all of this is unattainable. And I think now it's just a question of retreating in an orderly manner. You know, I need to think about this withdrawal from Stalingrad or from the surroundings. It's good that there is at least this one fort level over here, but we would need these 3 tiles to hold. When these guys withdraw, they are gonna just envelop these positions. I think this motorized is capable of going to this position if we just move the units out. And that's what I'm going to do. Yeah. That also means that we are going to lose this supply depot. Well, we are going to lose it anyways because these other units can't really defend. So supplying these units is gonna get now really difficult. These guys are gonna be left behind. So it's gonna be 10,000 men. I don't see a way of rescuing them. I'm just considering encircling this tank division or either facing it directly. Those are the 2 options that we have. I think we have to get back to this situation. I'm not ready to make a final decision regarding that yet. Oh yeah, there used to be a river here. But because of the heavy snowfall, you can't anymore see the rivers. Okay. How far have they reached? They are actually getting close to these positions. Yeah. This is not going to be easy. So this unit was supposed to be in reserve, but it never contributed to the decisive battles. Yeah, I guess that's what happens when you don't have good commanders. Well, these are obviously too weak units. Luckily we have the motorized. The motorized guy we can send here or here. Yeah, we have to think about this. This tank division is in a good shape. It has most of the things that it needs. I think we can now force these encircled Soviet troops to surrender. Let's try to attack this division. They surrender. Okay. These units tried multiple attacks, so they have been worn down a bit. Going to move this guy here. They can make an attack 6-1 or 6-3. I think I'm going to take 8-9-3. Enemy surrenders. And another surrender. Eight to 6. They have a strong fort here though. So let's bump up the odds a little bit. 9-6. Enemy surrenders. I'm just thinking about closing this. We can either focus on having more strength for the attack, or we can take these surrounding areas so we know that they can't withdraw. I think that's something that I'm going to try to do with that? This unit, which is the weakest one. $13 to 5. That should be enough. It is enough. So this pocket is completely mopped out. Now we can focus on the Kalinin pocket. The enemy didn't try to air supply these units, so I think they are quite ripe for our attacks. $10 to 5. Let's try it. They surrender. $7 to... They withdraw, okay. They still manage to keep cohesion and fight for another day. $11 to 4. How about this? $7 to 1. They also withdraw. Okay. They are not ready to surrender yet. Here the enemy has relatively strong defensive positions, so let's see. 4.3 to 2.9. It's not going to be enough to get them to surrender, but not even breakthrough. Okay. They surrender. That's good. How about these units? Yeah, I think we should try. They surrender. But what about this? I don't think the enemy has anything else in this pocket. But we just need to be sure. Let's push this enemy unit once more. Now they surrender. So this has been kind of a disaster turn, even though we managed to close this encirclement near the Kalinin salient. But the overall picture got much grimmer. The strategic situation in the south kind of deteriorated. Those two encirclements, we only managed to help this third one over here. And we don't anymore have airfields to supply these forward units. So, and the enemy is apparently making this kind of a flanking maneuver out of nowhere. Very deep attack. And here is our only supply hub in the Stalingrad city area. So this is kind of a scary situation in the south. Not that worried about these attacks that manage to push through single tiles in the Italian sector of the front, because we have some German soldiers and we can respond to those breakthroughs to some degree at least. The loss of Voronezh was actually a big blow. I was really surprised. Our defensive value was 840. We had so many Panzerjäger battalions, but the enemy had, I guess they just had the number of guns. I guess that was the decisive factor. 2,000 guns. It was an urban tile, heavy snow, air blizzard. They managed to reduce the fort level to 0. And of course, 7,000 against 80,000, it's like 1 to 10. 1 to 10 troop ratio, so we couldn't hold the city. But I think that could have been avoided to some degree, because I have these panzer divisions, one panzer division here in the reserve. They were just refitting, they could have been closer to the front. Maybe could have made a difference. We managed to clear out this pocket here, at least some losses for the Soviets. In the overall number of losses, we are fairly equal to Soviets right now. 1.3 million for us to 1.8 million for Soviets. Even though we basically have managed to hold our ground quite well when they attacked. But okay, I think I will move these units to do this. To trap these Soviet units that for some reason, I don't really know what was their reasoning behind this, but they kept their troops here. Which of course in retrospect is not really the smartest thing to do. I think I want to strengthen. We can now look at this Demyansk outer side. The side that is like facing the Soviets to the east. We can now start shifting these units that were closing the pocket. They can now be pivoted to these other positions. So I think that's what I'm going to do now. I'm just thinking, should we take this rough terrain? No, I think we want to go to this heavy wood style. I would rather be in the heavy woods here, because we can at least shorten the line than have some kind of a dent in it. And this is the unit that got pushed back. Okay, I think I could send them to refit at Demyansk. Get some airlift there. And we have some rail repair happening here. In Valdai, we could actually initiate priority repairs. I'm going to move this rail repair unit here. Yeah, we are close to getting this rail up and running. Set up a depot here. This is of course still a little bit too weak. It wouldn't break the encirclement even if those guys would get pushed back. These two battles. Both sides taking losses. Enemy again. Manpower wise, we are quite equal, but the number of guns is just so disproportionate for the Soviets that their artillery can grind us to dust. I guess that's the scariest thing in this scenario. It's not necessarily the Soviet manpower advantage, but it's the advantage in weapons. These are rather well equipped regiments. I think I want to do something like that. And these guys could go here. Can a single regiment hold heavy wood style? I'm not really sure about that. Let's see. What do we want to do here? Yeah, I think we want to actually take out this airfield here. Just making sure that they are not gonna get any kind of air. Yeah. Do we have any movement left in our units? We would just need like one division that could take these multiple tiles at the same time. Now we just have regiments, and moving them all to this territory just seems so counterproductive. But I guess we just need to scout a little bit. So I guess I'm fine with doing this. But to me it seems like that the enemy doesn't really have any more units. So we didn't get like a major capitulations. We can look at the metric screen. It doesn't really look good for us. The initiative change was 600 if I remember correctly. We can check the map men. Yeah, it's twice the men, the difference. The tank difference is narrowing down because they are committing so many tanks to their battles that they are losing more than what they can replace. Air-wise, we haven't really been using our air force because of my mistake. At least here we have one infantry division, but it can't really cover any ground because there is this one blocking unit that we would need to get to surrender. This is in heavy woods now. Okay. Yeah, I think we could do something like this. Just to move around and see. There could be some enemy units still here. We could probably get this unit even to surrender. Yeah, I think we can. Let's just use these units. 9.5 to 6.9. I'm willing to take that risk. Yeah, they surrender. That's good. That's something that we wanted and needed. I definitely think that these forward positions here need to be strengthened. That we can just take these two rifle divisions out of the game. This is light woods, heavy woods, heavy woods. Let's just move this unit here. It's actually better for this unit if it goes around like that. I'm going to try to put it in here. This is just the regiment. About something like that. Now it's like 25 in all of these tiles. Here it's 27. Now it's a bit stronger. And then we have all of these security divisions that we could maybe pivot here to the northern side. And if I remember correctly, these Luftwaffe field divisions, they don't really succeed in digging into the swamps. We could do maybe something like this. Or we can be waiting for the enemy. We have this mobile unit. I don't know, I'm just wondering, should we have some backup moves and try to hold some of these forts. If the worst thing happens and we are pushed back, we would have still some fortifications here. I think that looks rather good. I think we should hold this position at least here. Yeah, it's out of reach, but it's such only a security unit, so it doesn't really matter. Like, do they need supplies? Anyways. I guess what we have to like kind of decide in the next stream, because I'm probably thinking of continuing this sometime next week, not necessarily tomorrow, because I'm planning on starting a campaign with the latest decisive campaigns game, the Ardennes Offensive. I got that and I've been reading the manual a little bit. So I think that's gonna be the next game that I'm going to be looking at. Also next week, probably going to try the Hearts of Iron 4 Barbarossa expansion when it comes out, just to see if the game is more interesting than it used to be, because they say that they are implementing those supply systems. Of course, nothing can replicate the complexity that we are facing right now playing War in the East. And I'm also keeping my eyes open for the Steam sales when they start the winter sales, because they will have the War in the West, which I currently don't have, but I'm planning to buy it out if it's going to be for a reduced price, which it usually has been in the Steam sales. But yeah, the Stalingrad situation is much worse now. But if I'm looking at the situation here now in the center, there isn't that many. There seems to be just holes in the line here. They have clearly repositioned their troops against this Demyansk situation. In the north, they had a couple of attacks, but they weren't really successful, and I don't really see a concentration of strength anywhere here. So if we can, we might need to pull out some units from the north. Offensively speaking, I don't see us breaking these units. But having like tanks ready, maybe like considering an option that we would use the railroads and send the tank here to Valdai, makes just a small push to this Pologoe position here, which is a railway node for quite many lines. I think this would be really interesting if we would be able to cut this out. Also looking at this position here, because then I don't think there is another way to supply these units over here. So that could that could lead to some significant improvement, like ability for us to pull out some of these units and transfer them to the south. If we do a concentrated push here to these positions. But yeah, attacking here in the middle doesn't look like a reasonable idea. But here, if we look at this situation right here, there is only one corps holding a lot of our divisions. And I don't really think that they would manage to hold our attack if we take these tanks. Like, I think the tanks have now basically done their duty here. They went through this road, cut off the enemy here, and the road would anyways go just here and then it would end. So I think maybe the best course of action is to consider offensive a little bit later, maybe quite soon, to try to push this tile to get the defensive value out, because now it has a fort level of 2. We don't want it to get any stronger than what it is right now. But the main attack should be then coming a little bit later, though. Reaching to Torzhok here. Torzhok is actually quite difficult to defend even if we were able to cut this railway line. That would of course make the supply for all these divisions in between here much more difficult. But does it have any other value except that? I'm not really sure. Then of course the drive to Moscow is one option, because we have forces. We pull those tanks out, put them here, just make a move through this these good roads, which are basically the only highways in the whole Soviet Union. Is this Vyazma Smolensk and Vyazma Moscow highway. So I think that is one option, but then we have to look at the bigger picture. What can we achieve? Because we basically need to make encirclements. So it would need to have 2 pincers. One option is, of course, try to make pincer 1 here by these roads, pincer 2 here, and then reconnect and try to get this, what is in the middle, encircled. That is one possibility. Also, what I'm seeing here, a lot of our units not facing any enemies. They have some blocking elements here, but could we reach Tula? That is one option. I think we have multiple quite interesting objects and objectives for future offensives, because the enemy seems to be gathering all what it has to here. These are German troops, so I expect them to hold quite well, and these are like full infantry divisions in well fortified areas. This was of course the point which they were able to breach, but we have this Panzer division. I would be inclined to put it over here keep this unit as it is right now, and just let them absorb the Soviet attacks. There is also a lot of strength in these two tiles facing this single division over here, but they are coming across the river, so that's of course more difficult for them because it's also a major river, even though it's probably somewhat frozen, but I don't think it is completely frozen now. Then I'm looking at this Italian section. I think it was a good call from us that we put those German units there, but I don't think they are able to hold the enemy that much longer. The problems begin when they are able to cut this railway line. So that's something that we have to prevent. The Stalingrad situation is more or less desperate now because we couldn't hold on 4 tiles, or was it just 3 tiles that we lost? We lost this one, this one, this one, and maybe even that one. So losing just those tiles meant that our position is now really vulnerable for enemy attacks, and especially now that they are sneaking here, and I have no idea how much strength is in these divisions. If this is a tank corps, then we are in trouble. The only good thing is, of course, that we have these fortification units that have been gathering strength. We have like forts, level 1 forts in quite many of these places. So that's at least like something. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave this let's play to this situation. And in the next one we will like first try to strengthen the lines and strengthen those positions that we think that the Soviets will try to attack. And after that, we're gonna pull out the armor here and start thinking for possibilities. If like what I'm now thinking would be one possible offensive, use this Moscow highway and use this highway or basic road towards Kalinin, and then try to meet up here. And but the best time to launch that offensive would probably be when we can have all of these troops that are now in the mop-up crew available for the front to take like these fortified positions that are currently manned by these like divisions that are capable of doing offensive operations. So I think that's going to take a couple of weeks to pull all of these out and put them to the proper places. And some of them have to go to Stalingrad, of course. But yeah, I think this was an interesting turn, and at least good to know that the AI is putting up a fight. That it's because I was super surprised that we were able to encircle that many Soviets. We can still check the losses. Have they changed now? Well, they have changed in a sense that Soviet we captured roughly 100,000 in this turn. Yeah, that's of course some good news. But okay, thank you for people following the stream, and it's also nice to see people watching this live on Twitch, and I will be putting these videos, of course, on YouTube. So yeah, thanks for everyone, and have a good rest of the week, and then see you later next week. Bye.